Hey everyone, this is Matt, and in today's video I got you another deck matchup. Yes, in Master Duel. This time, Eldlich against Adventure Virtual World. Alright, so like all the other videos I've been posting, everyone's playing Adventure. Yeah, it came out. It's highly overrated. It can be stopped by like one of several different cards in the deck. And yeah, so this was, I'm Diamond 1 now, by the way, so now that I've reached Diamond 1, expect my Eldlich video to drop, like the deck profile for Master Duel, to drop relatively soon, within the next few days, right? So this game was in Diamond 2, and it was the second to last win that I had before promoting into Diamond 1. The final win that I was against a Numeron player who just scooped after I stopped his field spell, right? So not really an interesting replay to share, and also I've already shared a replay of showing the Numeron matchup. It's not that interesting, but this one is, because this one just continues to showcase why Adventure is overrated. Draco back is never allowed to bounce anything, and Witch's Strike just single-handedly basically just wins the game, right? So anyway, let's get started here. This is a great final replay to top off my climb into Diamond 1. So let's see what we have here. Alright, so I do lose the coin flip, so I will be going second. Alright, so my opening hand, pretty decent. I have no idea what what deck they are, but skill drain always nice to see. Eldlich engine pieces. Ideally, you only want to open one. Unfortunately, I opened two, which is okay, and then I opened double torrential. And the great thing about torrential tribute, it is not once per turn. So a lot of traps in this deck are once per turn. This is not. You can if you draw all three torrential tributes in your hand, opening hand, all three will be live on the same turn. So anyway, so let's see what he does. So he actually opens Qinglong, which is slightly suboptimal. Like most virtual world players prefer to open the gate, the one that activates Chuche from the deck, but that's okay. He's gonna get his Chuche regardless, so he's gonna have it. So yeah, let's see what he does here. So he synchros into the Croco Dragon. Okay, that's gonna draw him a card. Okay, Qinglong searches him a thing. So far, he's getting his Roshi. Everything going according to the plan. He discards the Water Enchanters. Water Enchanters will grab him the Rite of Artemisia. Rite of Artemisia will give him a token, right? Okay, and then Fateful Adventure. You're gonna get your Roshi. Yeah, pretty much like all his names are in play, I'm pretty sure now. He's got his Lulu, his Lily, his Lao Lao. Yeah, he's getting everything, right? And so he ends up synchro summoning away his adventure token into Baronne de Fleur. So he does not set up the Griffin Rider, but that's okay. Like if you've played enough decks that utilize the adventure engine with synchros, there's like a baby version of the base deck going around, right? I mean, yeah, oftentimes they'll just link away they'll synchro away or link away either the adventure token or the Griffin Rider, whatever is most convenient, right? Like that's fine. I don't think this guy is misplaying, especially since he's gonna go and create VFD. Wow, look at that. So his end board is Baronne de Fleur, which is Omnigate with followed by a pop every turn, right? VFD, which is like just a floodgate. What does it say? Yeah, basically a one-sided skill drain, right? And he has a face-down Chuche, right? So he's gotten. I mean, the only way this board can be better is if he was also able to end on the token, the adventure token and Griffin Rider. But alas, it doesn't matter. We can still play through it. So I draw Witch's Strike. So Witch's Strike right here is gonna win us the game, baby. So check this out. So I'm gonna set everything except the second torrential tribute. The reason being is because I don't need it right now. I have a bunch of other stuff I want to do. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. So he has a Shen Shen in the graveyard, right? So this is all in his draw phase, by the way. I'm gonna threaten his Shen Shen with the Huaquero into Elixir play, right? So he activates Maxx C. Okay, whatever. We don't care. Yeah, so same chain. We're gonna get the Elixir. So if this goes through, Eldlich comes out. Huaquero comes out, and we have the option to banish their Shen Shen if we'd like, right? We don't have to, but we have that option. All right, he's going to Ash the Elixir, so we will not be getting the banish of his Shen Shen, but fear not. By the way, for those of you wondering about Witch's Strike and interaction with Ash, so Ash says here, so Yu-Gi-Oh very much follows like the English language. Like it's very specific to the words used. So this card says negate the effect, right? So read right here, this last sentence above the bullet point says negate that effect, right? Whereas Witch's Strike says when your opponent negates blah 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 the activation of a card or effect, right? So you cannot Witch's Strike after an Ash Bell, but you or Ash Blossom, sorry, Ash Bell, but you can Witch's Strike after a Ghost Bell because Ghost Bell explicitly says the word activation. But that's not the point right now. So Huaquero's going to come in and I'm going to use Torrential Tribute, which causes him to use his Barone negate. So I baited the negate. So Barone does say negate the activation. So now, what are we going to get? We're going to get Witch's Strike, baby. Goodbye, board. So, I mean, he still has follow-up because his Shen-Shen's in the graveyard, but it doesn't matter because we have Skill Drain. So Shen-Shen is like, you know, this floodgate where it's just like cards that leave the field go to the banish pile instead of the graveyard. But with Skill Drain, it doesn't do anything. So it's just a big beater. So anyway, yeah, this game is pretty much over. He just doesn't realize it yet. Because, yeah, we're going to go ahead, set Torrential. Eldlich is going to grab Conquistador. And in end phase, we're going to grab our Elixir. So, by the way, we have 5 cards to his 1, right? And Maxx C in our hand will draw us more cards just in case he draws something that allows him to combo off. But, like, yeah, he got completely obliterated by that Witch's Strike, right? He lost his Kowloon, right? He lost his Griffin, right? He lost Fateful Event. He lost everything. Chuche, Barone, VFD, like, he just has a Shen-Shen and whatever he just drew in his hand, which is probably not enough to do much. So he goes in the battle phase. I'm going to go ahead and get the Eldlich. And that Eldlich is going to sit in defense position, right? 28 versus 28. He's going to attack it. I don't know why. Doesn't matter. End phase, I'm going to pop his Shen-Shen with Conquistador, right? So goodbye Shen-Shen. And now on my turn, I can do this cool thing. So I can draw. I drew a Maxx C. So I'm going to go ahead and link away into Link Spider. Just so I can get Conquistador in the graveyard, right? Link Spider and Eldlich will swing for 35 total. Alright, main phase 2. I'm going to use Elixir to grab Huaquero. So recall that his Shen-Shen is in the graveyard, and every turn the Shen-Shen can banish 2 monsters from his graveyard, summon itself back from the graveyard, right? So that's why we want Huaquero here. I mean, granted, like, that's the only other option, because the other Huaquero and the Conquistador are in the graveyard, or banished, so... But still, Huaquero, like, usually if you're playing Eldlich, you want to save Huaquero for one of 2 cards. Either you want to save it for the Shen-Shen, and if you have like an extra or like, you know, you have another one, you want to hit you probably want to hit the Nian Nian, right? That activates in the graveyard. Actually, no. Nian Nian is the one that recycles the card if it banishes. And you hit the Roshi? Whatever. Most of the time, like, you're just going to be hitting Shen-Shen. I guess, what is it? What's the name of that card? This one. Xuanwu targets a monster and return. Yeah, sorry. This is, yeah, so Huaquero, you want to banish the target of this card. After, you know, Shen-Shen is dealt with, so. Anyway, so Conk is just going to grab another Elixir, because why not, right? Might as well. Just in our deck. Yeah, this game is so over. Look at this board. Like, he has 2 cards. I have Skill Drain. Like, alright, so now he's going to activate Shen-Shen, pays cost to banish his 2 monsters, and then I chain Huaquero, and then I'm going to go ahead and banish the Shen-Shen. So goodbye, Shen-Shen. So yeah, so this game is Ogre. He does top deck the Kowloon, which is like a really good top deck, right? Qinglong's going to grab him the Lulu, right? He ditches Emergency Teleport. Lulu is going to summon itself. I'm going to chain Maxx C. By the way, since I blew up his hand, thanks to Witch's Strike, he doesn't have Ash. He doesn't have Call by the Grave. I know this Maxx C is going through, right? And check this out. So he basically has no choice but to combo off. If he doesn't combo off, I kill him on his turn. So I'm going to draw mad cards here. So he grabs the Roshi, right? Alright. So he's going to use Chuche to pop Skill Drain. He recycles his Shen-Shen back, which is annoying, but whatever. He summons a Roshi. Roshi's going to summon this guy. And then Nyan Nyan is going to summon itself from the graveyard effect. And now that I know he has 0 cards in hand and he has no more graveyard trigger effects, I'm going to go ahead and Torrential Tribute, baby. Yeah, and he just scoops. By the way, look at my hand. I just drew double Skill Drain, Solemn Strike, and Ice Dragons, right? Like, there was no way he could have won that. Like Witch's Strike, okay. A lot of players know better, and they just, a lot of times I've been playing against these players with Adventure or Baron or whatever, stupid negate card, right? I Witch's Strike them. They're smart enough to know to scoop, right? They're like, I'm not gonna deal with this, because they realize the card advantage that that I just generated on them, right? Like, look at this. I have so right now my board has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards, and I have 5 in hand, and he has 1 card in his field, which is his freaking like Chuche, right? And then like his best follow up, like if he didn't scoop, what he uses Shuashui or whatever it's called, the trap in the graveyard to revive a virtual world monster, and then a lone virtual world monster does absolutely nothing, so he loses anyway. So yeah, it's just Witch's Strike is so good. Like, don't believe any of the morons on Reddit or whatever forums you like to, look up your deck builds or like interact with the community. Witch's Strike is god tier in the right formats. So this is I have not been running Witch's Strike in any of my previous Eldlich deck profiles. Why? Because before the Adventure package came out, we were never in a meta where every single deck negated, right? Like, we've had, decks like Tri-Brigade, right, which sets, just does a banish, right? That we've had decks that their primary end board is not necessarily negate. Like, even Prank Kids, right? Prank Kids is not, by itself, does not set up a negate. They set up a bunch of pops, right, and other things. So yeah, but now that Adventure came out, and so, this is why in the TCG I run Witch's Strike in the side deck, right? Because I know there are matchups where it just wins the game, like, downright. And guess what? It's a normal trap, which means you can search it off Trap Trick, right? So, I drew it in this game, but what if I had drawn Trap Trick instead? It would have been the same result. I still would have just like blown up his board and his hand, right? Anyway, so yeah, don't believe the haters. Witch's Strike is god tier right now. If you are an Eldlich player or a control deck player, maybe you're playing, I don't know, Inspector Border, like Barrier Statues or whatever. You should be playing Witch's Strike. It's just amazing, right? Because every single deck now, thanks to the Adventure token, negates, right? Decks that before never negated now negate. Sky Strikers, they never negated. Now they have the Adventure engine. Prank Kids, they never negated. Now they have the Adventure engine, right? Phantom Knights, they never negated. Now they have the... So it's everywhere. Every deck now, thanks to the Adventure, has a negate, which means Witch's Strike will always be live. I climbed all the way up to Diamond, right? With this new Adventure cards, and I've been able to every time I saw Witch's Strike, I pretty much always resolved it. It's kind of like, Needle Sealing. It's like people say, oh, Needle Sealing requires 4 monsters. Yeah, but you know how many decks put out 4 bodies? It's so easy. It's so easy, right? Same with Witch's Strike. Oh, Witch's Strike requires your opponent to negate. Yeah, but you know how many decks put out negates now in the Adventure format? Like, every deck, right? Including, Fluanderies, right? Fluanderies, one of the big birds they use is Apex Avion. Guess what? Apex Avion is an Omni-Negate. So you can literally just chain it to that, right? Or trigger it off of that. So anyway. So yeah, Virtual World Dispatch, Adventure Virtual World Dispatch, Adventure Prank Kids Dispatch, Adventure Phantomizer Dispatch. It's just it's just easy. It's like the freest wins you can possibly imagine. Seriously. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Yeah, so the next, I probably won't be putting up any more matchups videos, since I've already ranked up, at least for Eldlich. Now that I'm Diamond 1, I might be putting up matchups of other decks that I'm playing around with. So there are other decks that I'm playing with, other than Eldlich. I did build a new deck, which I'll be showcasing soon, and I'll leave it as a surprise for y'all. Don't worry, it's not Dark Magician. The Dark Magician deck, since my last one, hasn't changed, right? Like, you still run the DP package. You don't run the Sky Striker package. Yeah, no need to run the Adventure though in Dark Magician. But yeah, I have a third deck. Actually, I have 2 decks in the works, right? So I have 2 decks in the works that I'm gonna eventually showcase to y'all, and yeah, that should be fun. So, all right, thanks for watching. See you on the next video. Later, peace.